Hey guys, Coach Bricks here. Hope you are well. Hey, now that the fall sports season has started up, I think it's a great time to talk about this in-season training here. Um, I know in college, a lot of colleges now program that into their training cycle, their workouts or their practices and things like that, which I think is great. I think it's always a great step in the right direction. But I think there's a major problem in the high school level. I think some do it, minority of people do it, but not enough. All right. And when I talk to parents and I talk to athletes, it just blows my mind the thinking that they have. You put all this time in, this time and energy that you work so hard for to improve your game, okay, in the off season. And you dedicate yourself and you do everything possible. And then comes season time when you're in high school or middle school and you stop. Oh, you go to practices that beat the crap out of your body over and over and over and over again. An hour and a half, 2 hours each day, and you got games and things like that. But we let this go. We let this part of it go. And then we wonder why, later on in the season, our bodies break down, we fall apart, and we get hurt. There's usually reasons for that. But what blows my mind is why would you stop? I'm not saying you should keep it at the same intensity that you did in the off season, but why don't you just cut down the volume? Instead of if you were going to train an hour and 15 hour every day, 4 days a week, why don't you cut down to once, twice a week, 35, 45-minute intense type workout that gets in and you really focus on the trouble areas that you might have. If you're coming in before and you're having some knee issues, or some ankle issues, why would you stop that? And I think that's a question that has to be asked by parents, I think, and kids. Why? Why would you give up on it? You should continue to work on your strength and speed even during the season. Even during it. I'll put it this way. I played college ball and I was very fortunate to play. My best games, my 3 years of playing college basketball, because I only played three, were always my last 8 games of the season. Always. And you know what? I trained. Now, true, like I said, we didn't have a training program back in the 90s. My coach had no idea about weightlifting. Zero knowledge of it. It was all on our own. So I had to do the research myself, and that's the days when you had to go back to the library and look at magazines and things like that. So did I do everything right? No, not even close. But I did something, and it paid off. It paid off greatly for me because, like I said, my last 8 games were always my best. While my rest of my teammates were hitting here, I was always continually going up. And it could have been a combination that they were dropping off, they weren't performing well. I just picked up the slack. But I had the ability to pick up the slack because I trained. I worked out 3-4 times a day. I'm sorry, not a day, but a week. I took care of that. That was a big priority in my life that made the biggest difference. Biggest difference for me. And that's when I became a true believer of in-season training. Because I always was under the philosophy of everybody else. I'm too busy. Shouldn't do it during the season. But when I hit that college and I started to feel that difference, especially late in the season, man, it made all the difference in the world, especially my last 2 years. My first year felt some difference, but man, my last 2, I really put it in, and it paid off. So all you high school athletes that think you should just stop cold turkey, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. And parents, I understand time is a concern. You have to have school, you have games, you have practices, you have homework, you have all this stuff, but you still got to make that a priority. All that work you put in, you don't want to just lose. You don't want to lose it all. Because then it's like starting over when the season is over and you're going to get back into it, 2-3 months later. Now all of a sudden you're getting ready to return, boom. Why don't you keep that up? And I'm not really a maintenance kind of guy. Like I want to maintain during the season. I want to gain. And you can do that. Like I said, I'm living proof that I did it. During it, I got stronger as the season went on. I felt better. I cut my workouts out. And worked them around as best as I could, especially back in those days with limited resources. I was going in for 45 minutes, an intense 45 minutes, where I still went up my squats. I still went up and stuff like that. Wasn't sore. I kept that momentum going. All right? So that's my big thing to you guys, is if you don't have a program, okay, and you busted yourself all off season, really highly consider not stopping. Even if it's just 1 time a week, that'll make a difference. Twice a week, I think it can really make a huge difference. And you ask any of those college coaches how much of a difference it makes. All right? So in-season training, guys, get on it. It's just as important. Don't be too busy, too this, too that. Make it a priority. Schedule in. I understand sometimes things come up. This gets canceled, that gets canceled. But as long as you have a plan, I'm telling you, you can work it out. All right, guys. Coach Brick, stay strong, stay blessed. Remember, greatness never rests.